Okay, so good evening, folks. I'm Avinash S, technical team member at GDSE ASCB, and along with me is Saket Chandra. He is my senior and technical team member at GDSE ASCB. So today we'll be introducing and explaining about the month-long event that is being going on, that is Hacktoberfest 2021. So Hacktoberfest is kind of a month-long event which is a kind of celebration of an open source, and it is conducted by DigitalOcean along with collaboration with several other companies such as Intel and DeepSource. So what exactly is Hacktoberfest? So Hacktoberfest is celebrated every year in the month of October. It's kind of a celebration for the open source software, and the event is conducted by DigitalOcean. So, through this event, the developers get involved by completing pull requests or participating in events and donating to open source projects. So, during this event, anyone can support open source by contributing changes and earning limited edition packs. Yes, so in this Hacktoberfest, you have to do at least 4 pull requests. On successful merging of those four pull requests, you will be getting some swags from DigitalOcean. So you can sign. Is it not? It's not like you can sign up only before that event starts, or during only the first week. So as this event starts from 1st October and ends on 31st October, you can sign up on any time, and then you can work on the open source projects anytime in between. So what all can we do in Hacktoberfest? So I have selected a few points. The first point is that we can, if we are working on any of those projects, for example, you got some idea and then you're working on that project, preparing the code or maybe a UI or the backend. You can share your project on platforms like GitHub, and then you can tag it with the Hacktoberfest tag. And with the help of that tag, you can reach the project to more people, and people can contribute to your project. Like there may be some situations or some sections of the code that you got confused, or you might not be having much knowledge. So you can help. You can take help from the community, or some people can contribute to it and prepare that area for you. And other than that, we can also contribute to other people's projects. Like as I mentioned in the above point, we are putting up our code, our project in GitHub, and then people can contribute to that. So similarly, we can contribute to other projects as well. And other than that, we can organize an event. For example, this is an event where we are educating people about what Hacktoberfest is, or we can conduct several events like competitions, contributing the crowd to a particular project or set of projects. And other than that, we can mentor others, we can teach others how to contribute and introduce them to the concept of open source. And other than that, we can directly contribute to big projects like the Linux firmware, or there are several open source applications that are available right now. So we can directly contribute to them as well, provided that those pull requests are okay. So what exactly is open source? So open source generally means that, as the term suggests, it's kind of a software or code with the underlying code can be inspected by anyone and be modified or used by any. So it is a part of the software that more like the source code. For example, if we take an application, the application, the behind that UI, there are there will be millions of code lines that are present. So open source softwares, you can access all these programs, you can understand how these applications work, and you can even modify those. Okay, so now we'll be understanding what is the difference between open source and closed source. So one of the best examples that I have shown here is Linux and Windows. So currently I'm using a Linux operating system. So the difference is that in Windows you can use the applications, you can use the operating system anyhow you want, but you can't go into the code of it. You can't understand how it operates. The underlying code of sub programs like the file explorer, or any of those applications which are already present in Windows. But in Linux, you can access every file. You can access the kernel itself, and in some versions of Linux, you can even modify those kernels while you're using the operating system. So that's the main difference. And if I take another example, it might be, for example, if we take the Android. So the Android project, it consists of open source as well. The main Android is a open source projects, and then based on that, several companies have took the code, modified it on their own, and then released it. For example, the stock Android is basically an open source, and then several companies like Realme, uh, Redmi, or Oppo, they just modify the code according to their needs, filter it with and add on with other separate themes and all, and then ship it to their devices. Okay, so now let's understand. We need to understand all these things before getting into how we can participate in the Hacktoberfest. So Git and GitHub. So there's a lot of confusion between people think that Git and GitHub is same. So it's not same. So what is Git? Git is basically a version control system. With the help of Git, you can control the separate portions of code or the everyday commits that we are doing, everyday portions that we are completing to a particular code in a systematic format. For a simple example, if I take, you're working on a project, maybe a college semester project or independent one. You might not be doing it within one day. You may be working on it for several weeks or for a complete month. So every day you're contributing some part to the code. So every day you're adding a few lines. But in that, the advantage of using Git. So if we are using Git, we are staging it like day by day. We are committing to the code. We are adding a few lines to the code, and with the help of Git, for example, if we made some mistake, we added some function to our program, and later on we got to know that, oh, we got a better solution, we need to change it. So if we are normally adding the code, so we might need to delete it completely and then add back the old one again. But if you are using Git, with the help of a few commands, you can revert back to that old stage. So there are several such advantages of using Git. Okay, so that is Git. So, but now what is GitHub? So as I've shown the diagram, so GitHub is a platform where you can upload the projects and then you can daily stage it and commit it to those projects, daily or hourly or within any time frame. So basically, GitHub is like within every system we have the Git version control system, and then it is connected where to a global server, and all our projects can be changed within the local system as well as on the server. So with the help of GitHub, you can the basic functionality of GitHub, we can modify the code or we can update several portions of the code on the server as well. All right. So now we'll be moving on to the key elements that are necessary for Hacktoberfest. So there are four terms that I've shown on the screen: repositories, commits, issues, and pull requests. So what exactly is a repository? So whenever we upload a project that is prepared in the form of a repository. Each repository is kind of a folder which contains a .git folder again inside it. All the details, all the past changes that we have made, it is stored in that Git folder. So basically, a repository contains the code as well as the changes that we have made stage by stage. So while after defining all these things, we'll go to github.com and then I'll show you what all these things are. And commit. So what exactly is a commit? So for example, I'm writing a code. If it may be a maximum of two numbers, I want to upload it to GitHub. Maybe I did it in 2 or 4 hours. So what I did is that I wrote the header file, I defined the variables, and then I did the first commit. So commit is like you're saving your changes. So it will be stored, the details will be stored, and then the file is saved, and it will, if you are pushing it to the GitHub, then it will be stored in the GitHub server. So and then when you are moving on to, maybe when you get free later, you can come back and then you can continue with the code. So the first part of the code is already saved, these commits can be reverted as well. So as I said earlier, uh, if we committed some wrong portion to the code, or the things that we have added can be modified, or the things can be made much more efficient. So we can revert back to the old state, and then we can add on the necessary changes. So issues. Okay, so issues will be going on to the issues in this Hacktoberfest. So basically, in a repository, there is a section called issues. So we can create issues. For example, if we have any problem in our the program or the software that we have uploaded to GitHub, so we can create several issues so that when people visit your repository, they get to know that these all problems are currently existing. When people ask for requests for changing, making the modifications, you can assign people to them, and then they can contribute to your code. Pull requests. After, okay, so in the stage where the issue was created, we get to know the issue, and we are requested for making the changes to the code. So now, and the owner of the repository has agreed to that. So now we'll fork the code, we'll copy the code, and then we'll make the necessary changes that we want to make. For example, if we take the same function of maximum of two numbers, and maybe I used the wrong operator for comparison. So I can copy the code, I can make the changes, and then I can commit it. That is, I can save the changes to my copy, and then I can ask for a pull request. So what pull request does is that it will take my code and it will merge it with the original repository of that person. So the changes that I made to my copy will be reflected to the original repository as well. Yeah, so I hope you understood this. So now we'll be going on to, I'll show you a repository that was made in the GDSC profile, and I'll just relate it to what all things I explained right now. Okay, so this here is a GitHub profile, and we can have several repositories here, that is several projects or several folders within several programs are present. So we have created a repository known as Hacktoberfest. This is how a repository will look like when you open. First we had repository, and then we can stage the commits. So whatever changes we made, it will be reflected here. What are all the commits that we, for example, if you go into this folder, so this is just a readme file. So after updating, you can see the status, what time ago the code was updated, and along with the commit, yeah, I'll be explaining the commands now. We can even see the update message, like updating the readme file. So that's how a commit will look like, and we have for section called as issues. So whenever any problem appears in the repository, we can create an issue. So the people who want to contribute to your code can see the issue and then work on that particular issue, rather than looking in the complete code. Okay, so now we'll go into the git commands. So basically git can be, we can use GitHub, and there is a GUI client as well for Windows, and we can either use GUI or the command line interface. So here we'll be getting into basics of the command line interface. Okay, so the basic command is when we press git or git help or just git, we can see all the sub commands that can be with this program. So we can, there is commit, merge, branch. So what we'll be going to is we'll be going to the initialization, and then we'll be making some changes, and then we'll be committing it, and then later on we'll go into, I'll just show you how we can contribute. As we have created this Hacktoberfest repository, I'll contribute a sample code and how we can merge this code that I created to the repository. Okay, so we'll get started with the basics. So first, we can we can create a folder. We have now entered the folder, and then we have to, this is just a normal folder, but then if we want to create it as a git folder, we have to initialize it, and the command for that is git. Okay, so first I'll show you the folder is completely empty. So after that I'll go and initialize the repository, and now the repository has been initialized. And now if I go, there is a .git folder. So this .git folder contains all the details regarding the previous commits and all. Okay, and the next okay, so we have initialized the git folder, and now we'll be adding some files. So we'll just add a sample file now. Okay, I'll just write a simple comparison C program. Yeah, so I just wrote a sample program for comparison of variables A and B. If A is greater than B, then yes, or it will print no. Okay, so I've made the changes. Okay, so I've saved the file now. So now the next command that we'll be looking into is git status. So once we have initialized the repository, we need to check if the changes are made or not. What is the status of the repository? You see, okay, so there are no commits. We haven't had any commits and untracked files. This file is not being tracked, so we need to add a command. We need to run a command so that this file starts getting tracked, so that the changes which are made are being stored. Okay, so now it shows the untracked status of main.c. So now we'll be going on to the next command, which we'll be using for tracking the files. So if we add git space and okay dot, so there are two commands. Instead we can I can just go for maybe main.c. So this will just add the tracking for this particular file. So if there are several files, it will track only this file. It won't track any other files. But if I add git add space dot, it will track the complete folder. So whatever files are present in this folder, it will track everything. And now if I press again git status, okay, so now the red changed to blue. So now the file is being tracked, but we haven't made the commit. We haven't saved the changes. Okay, so that's the next command we'll be going with is git commit. Okay, so in this commit, with every commit, we need to add some message so that we can differentiate what all changes are being made, and even for our uh, yeah, it will be easy for us to understand which commit was going for which changes. So that argument will be along with git space commit, will be adding -m and whatever changes. So I'll just write edit first file. Okay, so and then I'll just hit enter. Okay, so as you can see, yeah, so one file changed. So as soon as I added commit -m, it just notifies that one of the files has been changed and 11 insertions. So number of lines that have been changed. These have been, and now if I type git status, nothing to commit and working tree clean. That means all the changes that I made after initializing, I added the main.c file, and now after this command of git commit, the changes are saved and everything is up to date. Okay, so those were the main commands that are needed for. So now we'll be going to use, yeah, git push. Okay, so I hope you understood the basics of the init status and adding files and commit. Okay, so now how can we participate in that? Okay, so we can look for any of the repositories that are present. So right now I'll be looking into, if we take example of the Hacktoberfest, this is the repository. So in the right side, you can, there is a green button, you can left click on that, you can see the code. So first we need to fork it. So okay, so after you enter this, you can click on fork. So what fork does is that it will create the exact copy of whatever file contents are present, and it will create a same repository in your profile. It is like a copy. So whatever changes made later won't be reflected in your repository, and whatever changes that you make there won't be reflected here unless you merge. Okay, so we click on fork, and I'll just click my profile. Okay, so yeah, so first is my DSC ASCB slash Hacktoberfest, and now it came to my profile. So I'll just click my profile. Okay, so it came here. So I got a copy of the complete repository. All right. So now we have the copy, and we need to make some changes to it. So what we'll do is that we'll just copy that. Okay. So there are several ways to do it. We can do it SSH, or there are some new tools that GitHub has released. The CLI tool, the GitHub CLI, or we can use the standard Git. Okay, so I'll be using, yeah. So what I'll do is that I'm copying right now everything is present, and now I need to draw everything back to my system so that I can make the changes. So the command for that is git space clone and the link that we have copied. So we will get the link from the clicking on that code, and then we can just copy that here, and then I'll right click and paste. We have the link. Okay, so when I click enter, the complete repository, that folder, it gets downloaded into my system. Yeah, everything got copied. I'll just yeah, so we got the complete copy of that. We had the C++, C, Java, JavaScript, Python, and now we have everything in our system. Okay, so now we'll just go to any of these programs. Like we have a product of the list, right? So we have that sample product here, and now okay, so I'll just add a new file in this. So I'll just create a file. Okay, I'll just copy everything. Yeah, so I've just added my code. Okay, so what is the next step? Okay, so before all this, we need to register for that Hacktoberfest as well. So you can go to the Hacktoberfest link, and then you can register your GitHub account. So after you have created the account, when you go to this website and click on start hacking, it will request for linking your GitHub account to this Hacktoberfest. So basically they are looking over how many commits you have done, or what all, how many pull requests you have done. So according to that, they will be awarding you the goodies. Okay, so my account has been already been created. So after you successfully merge it, yeah, so signing up will be similar to this. So we can click on sign up with GitHub, and then we'll go into the register page. Okay, you have connected to Hacktoberfest, and now it will be showing two blocks for in progress and completed. So after you complete one pull request, or yet like your request for the pull merging, you'll be getting in progress, and if they have accepted it, you'll get the into the completed section. So once you complete the 4 pull requests that they are demanding, you'll be getting some goodies from DigitalOcean. Okay, so we were in, yeah, so we went to the repository. So we have created a repository, and then I clicked on fork, the button in the rightmost top. And as soon as I click fork, the complete repository will get copied to my profile. So I can make changes to that code, whatever is needed. So after that, yeah, so then it's right now in the server. So we need to download everything to our system. So I'll just click on that copy link. This is basically the link of this particular repository. So with the help of the Git tool that is installed in our system, we are downloading the complete folder. So as I had shown, yeah, so with the help of Git clone and the link, the Git tool will completely download everything to our system. All right, so yeah, I've cloned the repository, and now I'm making the changes. I've added a sample program to it, and yeah, so now if I, okay, so I've made the changes, and now if I go for git status, yeah, so this file that I added just now is not being tracked, and we need to add it to the git list so that it gets tracked, the changes gets tracked. So the next command is git add, and we'll type dot for everything in this folder. Okay, so now it is being tracked, and now we need to add these things, save these changes. So we'll be doing the commit minus m, and I'll just comment it out, add it. Okay, so git space commit space minus m and the message that we are adding to this change that we have added. And yeah, so changes have been made. Okay, so first yeah, so we added the file and then we committed it, and now the next step is to push it to our repository on the server. So for that, we need to use the command git space push. So what it does is that right now these changes that we have added, they are only in our system. We need to change it to our repository that we had copied. So for that, we'll type git space push. Okay, so yeah, so now the changes that I've made that have been updated in the server as well. So let's go and check. Okay, I'll just reload this. Yeah, so the commit messages are available here, and I had added one file in the C folder. So we can see the commit message that I added. So if I go to the folder, yeah, so you can see the file that I've added here with the commit message and the time that I added before. So with the help of push command, whatever changes we made on our system, we can push it to the server as well. Okay, so now we have made the changes. Okay, so the next step is to send a pull request. So we'll go to the original repository, and here go to pull request, and then we'll create a new pull request. Yeah, so I think I've made changes to the same branch. So okay, so first what I did is that okay, so first I cloned the repository. First I forked it. So I went to the DSCACB Hacktoberfest, the repository site, and then I clicked on the fork button. So what fork does is that it creates an exact copy to my profile, and after that we go to our our folder, like where we copied. So I'll just go to my profile, and okay, so we have the copy here, and now we'll download the complete repository with the help of the git command and the link of the repository. So we'll just copy the command, and then in the terminal we'll type git clone. So what we get is after cloning we'll get a complete folder with the same name of the GitHub repository. And after that, we can make changes to the code. So I added a simple greater than function to the C folder inside this Hacktoberfest folder. And I've changes. Okay, so after adding these files and saving it, we'll use the Git tool to track the complete repository. So it will track the file as well. And then the next command is the git commit. So we'll save these changes that we have made, and then after git commit, we'll with along with the message we'll commit it, and the after that the next command is git push. So what git push does is that the changes that we have made to our system, it will get it will the changes will be reflected in the server, the GitHub website, inside the profile, the copy that we have made, the changes will be made there as well. So I've added a greater than function. The changes will be visible here. Yeah, so one of you asked that we can make changes or create a new file. So this time I had created a file called as greater than .c. Apart from that, I can also make changes this file. For example, if the loop is not running correctly, I can make that particular changes and then commit it to the complete repository and then push it back. So these kind of changes are also possible. Okay, so I had forked it. So now my both the branches are same. So I can't send a pull request. So Vinayak Tekade will be sending a pull request to the Hacktoberfest repository.
All right. So now I am here into my GitHub account. Fine. So like I'll now pretend like I'm one of the contributors and I want to contribute to Avinash's or our DSC ACB's repository, right? So I'll go to the repository, which is in given in the link, which is there in the chat. And from here, I can just simply click on this button, that is fork. So what this fork button will do is it will add this same repository, a copy of the same repository into my account. So now you will see the name has changed. It is showing my username and then the repository name. And it is also showing that it is public and anyone can access it, right? So now let us say I want to write another code or like you asked earlier. So I want to add a file over here, right? So one of the possibilities is that I can make a change in this README file and then that will be reflected over there, or I can make new files, or I can delete stuff also. So any kind of change which I'm making here will be reflected on Git and GitHub. It will keep a track of any kind of change that is available. And if at all, if you don't want to track any kind of changes, you can mention it in .git ignore file. So we'll talk about .git ignore file later. Let us now see how change can happen. So let us say I'm one of you and I'm contributing to this repository. So now I forked it. And then what I'll do is that I will clone this repository to my computer. What what does cloning mean? Cloning actually means that this is a remote repository. It is currently not available on my computer. It is available on GitHub, which is on the internet, right? What I'm going to do is by cloning, I'm going to basically download this code. So what I'm going to do is I'll copy this command and I'll run it in my terminal. So here I'll clone it over here. So I'm using the GitHub CLI over here. So if you want to learn about GitHub CLI, which is completely new thing brought by Microsoft in collaboration with GitHub over here. So now what happened is now when I cloned this repository, it is showing me that it has cloned the main branch. There are new branch available, which is main. So what I'm doing is now I can see that my folder has the same name as the repository. So I have Hacktoberfest repository present in my computer now. And then I can just move into the directory. By CD, we mean change directory. And we are going into that folder. So I just write Hacktoberfest. And now I can just view the files available in the repository over here. You can see we have a .git ignore file also here. Here, if I open this folder into my VS Code, I'll show it properly over here. So if you see this .git ignore file, all the files which are supposed to be ignored and not tracked for changes, whether it be deleting the file, creating the file, or updating the file, those things will not be tracked over here, and those file names are mentioned over here, right? Now what I'm doing is I'm going to go and write one sample code on in C++. So to be organized, I'm going to just put it in C++ folder. So with this button, I'll create a new file. So let's say I want to add two numbers. Let's be basic, right? And try to add two numbers over here. So I'm just creating a new file. I'm just writing add two over here, and I'll just mention the extension .cpp. And then I'll just write my code. So let's go over here, hash include iostream. And okay, yes, so I get it. What the problem here is that I haven't installed C++ on my computer. So for that, I'll have to install. So let us keep having this part. So instead of doing this, now you can see VS Code has is saying that there is this untracked change. That means, and here also in VS Code, we have something called source control, which is showing that this repository is available online. And then I have made a new file called add2.cpp, correct? So it is tracking any kind of changes I'm making. So here I created a new file and it is showing it over here. To discard the changes, I'll just simply click on this button, discard changes, and it will delete that file. And I'll be back to the previous version which was there. So let's say I have to print a normal string in Python. So what I'll do is I'll just go to Python folder because I have Python compiler installed and I can test it out. And then I'll just write, okay, let's do add2 again over here, add2.py. And here I'll simply just create two variables, a equal to 5 and b equal to 6. And then I'll just write c equal to 5 plus 6 over here. And I'll just simply print c. So let us run this file now. And we can see our output is 11 over here. And our code is working also. So we can see basically our code is working over here. Now this was what I did is I added a new file to the repository and it has tracked that like I told earlier. Now if I were to update some file over here, so mostly what I'll do is since I added two over here and program over called add2 over here, I'll just basically write over the documentation, data science. I'll just write basics of Python. By the way, this README file is a Markdown language. And in Markdown, we can basically define headings with hash and heading number two, which is a slightly smaller font than heading one, which is this one. And the font size is smaller over here. So the same way, I'm maintaining the same flow over here. And here I'll just write add to program to add two numbers. And if at all I even want to link that file, what I will basically do is the format of linking a file is in Markdown is basically the title will be in square brackets and the link of the file will be in round brackets or parentheses. And here I'll refer to dot. By dot means the root of the repository. And from there, I can keep on adding to which folder I want to go in. So here I'm going into Python. And here after that, I'm just mentioning the file name. And let us check whether this link is working. By this, I'll just hold on control and I'll just click on the file. So you can see we are debugging it, the part now. So it is saying that this link does not exist. So what I'll do is I'll basically just copy the relative path and I'll just paste it over here. And that's how it works, right? And if you notice one thing is that everywhere else we are having forward slashes, whereas here we have backslash. Why is that happening? You may note. This is happening because Windows supports in Windows we mention file path using forward slash, whereas in Linux we mention file name using backslash. So here I'll just put it over here like this. And if you notice, README file is in our Python folder. So we don't even need to go inside the Python folder. We can simply just put it like this. And then if we click, it will open the file. That means our link of the folder is correct. And now I'll show you that how it is tracking the changes. Now, if you notice, it is showing me there was a blank file before. And now I have added it like this. I added the changes of this new file like this. Similarly, for README file, I have added this new line over here like this. So everything is shifted down. And then we can see all the changes like this. And then if I have to push all these changes, first I have to start see the status. What is the status? So this changes which we are seeing now is basically VS Code running git status command for us. So if I run it in terminal again, you will notice that it will show there are two untracked files. So yeah, I'll run it again so that it's clear. Yeah, it is showing that there is one file modified, that is README file, and there is one new file created called add2. And then to just commit that these changes are verified from my side, and I want to make a version out of this. So in Git, we are maintaining different versions of code, right? So here, I'm just mentioning what are the two changes and I want to commit it. I want to sign that these changes are mine and I am responsible for it. And I want to create a version of it. So I'll just type git commit. And then by dash sign, I mean I'm signing it off. And then by dash m, I'm mentioning the message. So just like how we do it in Linux, how we write the command line in interface. First, we mention the application name, then the command inside that application, and then the flags for that command. So here in the flag, I'm mentioning message over here. In message, I'll write added add to dot file, and then I will commit to the changes. So if you notice, before committing, we need to get them started for tracking, right? So what we have to do is that similarly, what you have to do is whenever I type git commit, it is showing that there are no files to track at all. And it is suggesting that use git add command. So always keep an eye out on the terminal. Like what is it saying? What is it suggesting? Mostly the solution to your problem will be available in the terminal itself. So simply I'll just type git add and it will start tracking all the files. If you notice, this will start updating. So if I refresh it, it will show that these files are being tracked. Now, if I run git status again, okay, 1 second. What I did here is I need to mention which path also. So I'm using the git application. I'm using the git add command. And what do I want to add? So I want to add everything that is in the current folder and that is mentioned by dot. And then if I refresh over here, it is showing that these changes are staged. That means it is ready for signing off. And then I can simply write git commit and with the message. So here, since I have enabled encryption, I have to put my password also. And with that, all these changes are now committed and they are signed off. And a new version of it is created. So what will happen now is that if I type git status again, all the changes will be gone because our new version is having no changes. It is a freshly newly created version. So there are no commits. But one thing is that when I move back to my GitHub account, so you will notice that if even if I reload there are no changes available here. If I go to Python folder over here, the one which I'm looking for is not available, right? So what I'll do is I'll just simply what I have to do is from all the changes are now available on my local system. I need to put it to GitHub on the internet, right? So for that we use the command git push, and then what it will do is that since I'm in the main branch now, it will push all the changes to the main branch of GitHub. And now if I reload the page, I have uploaded the changes, correct? Before we use git clone to download the files. Now we are uploading the files using git push, and then it will show it is it will show if you go to Python folder, it will show that add to is over here, added to our internet on our online repository, or in other words, to a remote repository. And then the changes, basics of Python is also added over here to the README file. And this is the way we should document all of our codes. And in that way, everything is organized, right? Now, one thing is that these changes are available on my account, but I want it to be available on DSC ACB's account where I have forked it from. So it is showing that my branch is ahead of one commit from DSC ACB's main branch. So what I can do is I can simply create a pull request. So here, to do it, what I can do is I can simply write fetch upstream over here. And then you can say there are no, what do you mean by fetching? The fetching means that we are getting the changes from the DSC ACB's Hacktoberfest repository and seeing whether there are any new commits. Or else, what we can do is we can click on contribute, where instead of getting the changes, what we're doing, we're doing some changes. We are contributing to that repository. And for that, we need to create a request. We can't simply make changes to someone else's profile, right? Or some organization's repositories. We need to request them to accept our changes. And for that, we'll create a pull request. That is the meaning of a pull request. We are asking the owner of that repository to pull the changes which we have created. And for that, we simply have to write create pull request. And the same changes are being mentioned over here. What are all the changes that were made? And to do that, and then again, we have to check these parameters, the base repository and the head repository. The head repository will be your repository, which is mentioned over here. And you can also mention which branch, main branch or any other branch which you have created. And then we have the base repository where the changes will be made. Look at this arrow mark. Changes are going from head to base and to base's main branch. And then I can simply create a pull request. And then to do that, what we can do, we have to also give a message to them, right? Like what are all the changes am I making? So basically, I'm not fixing anything. So I will just erase this part. And the proposed changes are add to Python program to add to numbers. And then with this, I can simply allow the maintainers to edit my changes as well. And I can create a pull request over here. Now, if I go to the pull request side of DSC ACB Hacktoberfest repository, which is the repository where I want to contribute, right? You can see in the pull request, there will be this change which I have requested over there. And then the maintainers of the DSC ACB's maintainers will then review my changes and see whether they are eligible for changes which they want. And then Avinash will show you how that looks like.
Okay, so now, yeah, so this is the Hacktoberfest repository, and here we can see the pull requests that are available, and in this, these are okay. So in this, when I click on that, I can see the proposed changes that Vinayak Tekade has made. There are some automatic checks that are done by the GitHub. We can do that, and after that, we can comment on the changes that are needed to be made. So if I like the changes, there is some issue or there is some problems that is present in the changes that Vinayak has made. So I can comment on it and click on comment. So if I click on changes accepted, the it will the changes like changes accepted. No, if I comment on it, if there is any problem, so in that case I can comment it out like there is some problem in the changes that I have made, and with the help of this tab, the preview, I can get a preview of what all comments I am giving in, and here and after all these conversation we can stage by stage we can see what all changes have been made and what were the discussions that were being done. So yeah, so now we go on to the feed a file change section. So in that, as you can see, the red and green sections are the changes that being made. Basically, Vinayak added a few lines, but then as it got shifted, the complete file has been changed. In the add to function, there are 4 lines that are being added: the variable declaration and the printing. So when now click on clicking in the conversation section, you'll get to know if I have viewed the file or not. In brief, we can see what all changes have been made. 47 lines have been added here, and then the second add 2.py 4 files have been added. And after all this conversation, the changes are again the requested changes that are need to be made it to modified. Uh, there is an option called review changes. So in the review changes, I can leave out a final changes done or something like that, and then I can just give out a comment or on selecting this option, the changes are not being accepted. I'm just giving out the comment, or we have the option called the approve. In this approve, along with the comment, the changes that Vinayak had made will be accepted and will be merged. And as I had said earlier in the conversation, if the changes that Vinayak made are not necessary and he needs to add something else, we can request the change. We can just mention it what all changes we need. So here, when I click on approve and so I click on submit review. Okay, so now I've added some comments, and then after approving, going through all the changes that Vinayak had made, I've done a final comment and I've merged it. So right now, if you go on to the Hacktoberfest folder, like as you can see, yeah, in the Hacktoberfest folder, okay, in the Python section, okay, it hasn't been did.
Okay, that's how it looks in the reviewer side. since Saket is the actual maintainer, he can show how it looks when a maintainer actually has to merge the changes. For now, this is where Avinash was a reviewer. Like he is a part of the team. He doesn't have access to like merge all the changes to the repository, but he can actually check whether these changes are eligible and he can help the maintainer review whether the code is correct or not. From here, Saket can go on and explain how the changes are merged into the repository.
So if you see here, there's a one pull request. So if I click on that, I can see the one pull request from. So I'm. So what can I do? I can add that label like it's a bug, discipline, good for the issue, or hacked or fest. I can tag them actually. So if I open that, I can see the what are changes he did actually. If you see, Win has signed the file actually, and if he, I can see the code what he did actually. So just now he explained what are changes he did and what we have done actually. Then if I accept all these changes, I can go accept the request actually. Before accepting, I can write like thank you. So I can commit the message also. Now and Arvind is my head, and he also approved the reveal. So now we can merge a pull request. Merge. When I merge a pull request, I can go to hack the first. Now I can see the his request actually. See now that I had two files. You can see now our main repository, and he did change here also like basic adding two programs. If I click here, it will redirect to this code actually.